Greetings YouTube, DJ Bonebreaker coming at you from the virtual workshop Grid World settlement for a build tutorial. This one on how to add barn or warehouse roofs to concrete building sets or wooden shacks build sets. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So yeah, this is going to be the start of the building. So just throw in some concrete floor tiles. Make it a 3x4 just to keep things relatively simple, and so I can demonstrate some few different roof techniques for wider roofs. So yeah, got our floor here. Pay no attention to that in the background. That I use this workshop for testing build ideas I have without wasting a bunch of resources, because nothing in here actually costs resources. So as you can see, like the metal shack walls, we'll just throw this down here. Wooden shack walls and the concrete walls are all exactly the same height, more or less. The concrete ones are ever so slightly higher, and they also snap to the outside. Sorry about my sounding so rough, but you can blame Canada for that and all their wildfires and smoke coming down and invading U.S. territory. So the air quality is really bad, but I digress. So as you can see, the wooden shack walls snap to the top, and kind of along the center of the wall will snap to the edge of the floor. Ditto for the metal shack walls, whereas the concrete walls snap to the outside and kind of down a bit, like to the top part of foundations, or like the standard floor things here. They'll snap to the top side of the top of the well, actually basically the whole floor thing. Of course, the floor tiles won't snap to the top of either of these. And same goes for the standard wood floors. Like, you can't snap them in. For these 192, for all intents and purposes, 192 high structures, you're going to need a what they call upper floor. And any upper floor works. These tiled ones are from the Nuka-Cola Collectors Creation Club, which is one of the reasons why I got it. And these are actually some of the few vanilla floor tiles alongside the concrete ones from the barn and warehouse section that I actually use in a lot of my builds, because I really like how they look. But you can use literally any upper floor, regardless of whether it's that or strictly vanilla type ones like these upper floor shacks, or the concrete upper floors, like this one right here will also snap the same. But yeah, that's how you do that. One way you can add roof to these concrete buildings, of course, is either use the flat concrete roofs, or you could go into the wood shack section and go to the shack roof. And I'll just grab one of the plain ones here, and it'll of course snap like it does to the wood shack roof, so you can have yourself a big old scrappy looking shack roof with holes all through it, if you so choose. But that's not what this tutorial is really about, though. What it's about is how to apply well, let me put the metal thing back in place actually, is how to get the barn and warehouse roofs onto these things here. So let's just finish out this half of the building with the concrete wall tiles. Just throw a couple different ones in here for some variety. And then finish off with the wood and or metal tiles. Just where there's some better looking wood tiles in here, so, but whatever. So just throw these bad boys on like so. To show that you can use this with, you know, either or, and it'll work fine. So the way you put on the roof, and oh yeah, about these concrete tiles, is that one did not snap right. There we go. So yeah, is that you can see there's a gap at the corner because how thick the walls are and they snap to the outside. So you just use these pillars here to fill in the gaps. Very much like the end cap of the a lot of the walls sets in the Snappy house kit, which I'll be releasing a future tutorial video about. But obviously, if you try to use the warehouse or barn roofs on either of these structures, it doesn't snap. So what you do is you get rid of the wall in question here, put in like either warehouse or, for demonstration purposes, barn wall in its place. And I just realized I got rid of my door. And then you can go back and use, again, it doesn't matter, you can use either the wood upper floor or the concrete upper floor. Like so. Come on, there you go. And then go into the barn or warehouse section. I personally prefer to use the wooden warehouse floors because they're cleaner, but the barn floors are essentially identical, just with a slightly different texture. Snap those to the top of the upper floor, and then you can just drag. So let me go to the outside here real quick. And then you can just drag the yeah, there we go. Drag these walls down so that they're more or less aligned with the top of these things here. Well, they're aligned with the upper floor of the, you know, where the upper floor for the thing going. So just get rid of all this stuff now. And then you can go to either the warehouse roofs or the barn roofs. Personally, I prefer the barn roofs, but they're 100% interchangeable. Actually, it's the roof section, not the wall section. Silly. So, again, for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to go half and half here. And then you can just snap the additional roof sections onto the sides, like so. And for additional convenience, and we'll just get rid of the original walls to show you that, you know, everything's all good to go now. Just snap the original. Would you kindly please snap in right? Thank you. Just snap the original pieces back in. Where we're supposed to snap in, that is. And yes, there is a bit of a gap, but I will show you how to fix that. At least with the concrete, this fix works. With the regular walls, it's kind of a sort of fix. Well, there's actually two ways to fix it, but I'll get to that again once I get to the actual final phase of the whole thing. So then you can just snap these, like if you want to have like a regular roof with gables, you can snap either these gable sections from the warehouse, or again, if you prefer to go that way, the barn section. And you can also mix and match too, because either of these will work together 100%. And then for these like wider roofs that are wider than 2 wide, you just get these half wall sections here from either the barn or the warehouse. Again, I'm having to deal with the ornery cats trying to bite my headset cords, so pardon me. And yes, you can even use the like greenhouse glass walls from the warehouse set if you so choose, to add a little bit of architectural interest. And then you could go one of two ways. Like if you want to create, like, say, skylights down the center, or if you, depending on whether you want like a more barn style roof or a proper peaked roof. If you want a proper peaked roof, well, even if you want to use like the glass roofs, because the glass roofs, as you can see here, do not have, well, actually they do have sections with end caps on them. So yeah, you can just go like this if you want like a whole skylight thing here across the entire top, for instance, say, and then just find the one with the end cap on it and just snap that in, and there you go. You got a nice skylight down the center. And then you just, you know, you can do like, again, mix and match if you so choose. Well, apparently these ones do not want to work with that, but like I said, you just can continue by putting in, like, say, gable wall in here, and then putting in your roof sections like that. If you want to, say, have like a greenhouse section along the back, or for instance, you could just go with the barn roofs. They'll snap, and then just put in the gable wall over here like so, and you've got yourself a roof that is peaked, like fully peaked. An alternative design, which I'll demonstrate just using the barn side of things, is you can throw in this flat roof section here like so, and you've got yourself a more barn style roof, or shed style, or whatever you want to call it. But there's still that gap, you know, mind the gap and all that. So one way you can fix that is to go back into the wood or concrete section and grab your upper floor and just snap that the whole way across. You know, have it facing however you want. I generally try to go for having like the beams, I guess you call them, all facing the same direction. Well, actually, for this side, you wouldn't have that. And this is one of the reasons why I wouldn't have like the clear roof the whole way across, because it basically becomes impossible to hide. But if you still want to have your skylight, I'll show you how to do that in a second. So yeah, you can use the upper floors for the shack upper floors, and you can see it will cover up that gap quite nicely. Let me put the roof back in place real quick to show you how this works. So you throw in your warehouse section here, grab the peaked roof with an end cap and throw that in on here, and then throw your warehouse roofs back on over here. Oh right, first you got to put in the end wall for the gable. Don't want to forget that step. So that'll go in right there, and then you can just, put the roof back on, like so. And so you have the, like I said, the again, for demonstration purposes, on this side I'll be using the shack roof, or the shack upper floor. Why is this thing deciding to go the wrong direction around? Could have swore I had those the right way around before, but whatever. Okay, so you see that, and then to kind of like, make it look a bit more finished and proper, is throw in some warehouse, or wait, let's go back to the warehouse. Some warehouse or barn half walls. Thusly, let's see if I can get, there we go. So it's all consistent. And there you have your nice, like, kind of offset well, I'll add that last section, but there you've got your nice, like, bumped up skylight with, finished ceiling and, all that. So everything looks nice and neat, and you don't have any exposed stuff that, you probably don't particularly want to see. And again, the most important part, no gaps between the walls and the roof. And like I said, this works not just for the metal and the wood shack stuff, but also concrete. For the concrete, because you do have that slight extra height to it, because the concrete one actually isn't 192, it's slightly taller, it's like 212 or something. I'll have to look up the exact height. You can actually get away with using, instead of the upper floors, which are still usable, you can get away with using the barn or warehouse floors, like so, to hide the gaps, like this. And then of course you can just finish this whole thing out, again showing you can in fact mix and match, use, like, say, half barn wall to fill in this, like, little thing like that, and voila, you've got yourself a roofed off concrete or wooden shack thing using the barn or warehouse roofs, and without any gaps or other inconsistencies. So there you go. That's a tutorial of completely vanilla way to get barn or warehouse roofs on the shack or concrete walls. So I hope you guys found this tutorial helpful, and until next time, this is DJ Bonebreaker signing off.